So let's all bring our energies together by saying our names and we'll go popcorn. Welcome and say your name. And one thing you did
Oh,
to nourish your body or mind today, and if you haven't done anything, one thing you wish you did to nourish your body or your mind. Who wants to go first?
hi there. I'm Kathy. I hurt my back this week, so I nourished my body by resting with warm cup of coffee and a heating pad on my back so that I'd be able to join you today.
Thank you. You're welcome to lie down and do whatever you
Well, I'm
need to
fine.
do.
I've got a nice pillow behind me, so I'm okay for a
Very,
while.
very good earth energy. Just stay in touch with what you need to do. Thank you. And sorry. Who's next?
I'm Mary, and I did my oracle cards this morning and wrote in my journal. And I don't know whether that really feeds my mind, but it feeds my spirit. So
Perfect. Thanks.
my energy.
Yeah.
I'm Lydia. I took all of my fragile flowering plants and took them onto my porch and put them under shelter so they won't get pummeled by the rain.
Very good mothering. Thanks, Lydia.
I'm Maria. I went to take my dip this morning before the rain came, and kind of like be in contact with the shore, uh, before the wind fully moved in.
Did you feel enveloped by the water?
I did. I like to go there before a storm comes and pray for protection for the beach and for the sea creatures and for power and emergency workers and all of those kinds of things.
Thank you. Caring is a big part of the earth element. Cindy.
Good afternoon, everybody. I've just stayed real quiet. Might have just a little bit of reading, put the book down, close my eyes, think about what I read. Just stayed real quiet.
Nice.
Yeah.
And there's a way we can be enveloped by quiet, isn't there? Held by the quiet. Earth element is all about holding, nurturing the mother energy, mothering ourselves, mothering others, being thoughtful, being caring. So we'll be exploring that today. You know, I've started playing music, and so I've chosen an earth song and we'll listen to it for a bit and just allow it to wash over you and feel. And remember the musics that we've had in the past. Notice how this makes you feel. We'll have time to comment after.
I've never had a way with women, but the hills of Iowa make me wish that I could. And I've never found a way to say I love you, but if chance came by, oh, I would. But way back where I come from, we never mean to bother. We don't like to make our passions other people's concern. And we walk in the world of safe people. And at night we walk into our houses and burn. Hello, oh, oh, I will.
Oh, no, no.
Oh, Oh, oh.
And as we sit here, let's go right into our meditation. So sending those roots down, down, down into the earth. What does it feel like to send those roots into the moist, dark earth? And now you get to become the earth, expanding your consciousness out from the roots into the warm, dark earth itself. What does it feel like to be the earth? Your body is the earth. And with part of your awareness, you notice the ash from the tree that burned from the lightning strike in our meditation last week. Remember that tree? The shell of the tree got struck by lightning and burned, burned, burned until it was nothing but ash. And the ash soaked into the earth, into the warm, welcoming body of the earth. And you allow the ash, you welcome the ash to soak in, nourishing you with its nutrients. And so much nourishes you. Leaves and insects and other bodies of plants and animals are continually decomposing into you. Their nutrients feed you. And in turn, you send those nutrients throughout your body in order to nourish new little seedlings springing up. Life is in constant, gentle motion, decomposing into the earth, feeding new growth. Decomposing into the earth, feeding new growth. And you breathe. And you feel. Feel how your body goes down, down, down. So deep and stable. So deep and stable. Receiving and giving. Receiving and giving. Over and over and over, and it overjoys you to give. That is your nature. You give and you receive, you give and you receive, and you know that in order to give, you must receive. You must receive those nutrients into your body in order to give to others. Breathing in and out. And slowly bringing your awareness back to your roots. Traveling up the roots into your feet, into your legs, into your body. When you're ready, bringing your awareness back, opening your eyes as you wish, but you don't have to. And is there anything anyone wants to share about your experience as Earth? Is anything bubbling up?
I just, first it came to me the sense of being the protector. And then it was the protector and nurturer of transformation, like the cycles of the seasons and life, death, rebirth, and how it feeds us, and all of that is just, yeah. So
Thank you.
I had a different experience. My dog was terrified of the wind. And when I came into this room to do the session, he followed me. He doesn't usually come into this room. And he's cuddled up on the floor and he fell asleep during the meditation. So he felt protected. It was kind of neat.
great.
Yeah.
Are you speaking, Lydia?
I'm sitting in a rocking chair, so I have a sense of being held, and I'm just very aware of that point on the bottom of my feet, the bubbling spring, in contact with the earth, with the floor at this point, but with the earth, and the rocking sensation, and then the very steadying nature of the contact with my foot on the earth is very comforting.
You all are getting the earth so perfectly. Thank you. Cindy, was there?
There's been a shift in the past 48 hours with me. And that is feeling very grounded again, because I haven't. I think I've told you I'm here. It's like somebody took the rug out and I'm trying to find my place and get grounded. And that's lifted. I love all meditation that has to do with the earth and my feet, and I imagine the roots. It really, really, it's like it's all within me. I'm like the tree, right into the earth. So
Of that.
I have a kitty. If you see me moving a lot, she's a real challenge. I love her to pieces, and she's testing every bit of my patience. She's like a child. When you want to do something, she will not leave you alone. So right now she's quiet, but every time I'm on Zoom or I do something, she will not leave me alone. She's getting into mischief. She's knocking over a plant. She's climbing up. She's unbelievable. So I'm really working on not being distracted, and yet I'm trying to stop her from doing things. It's who she is.
I think we all understand the mother, which is what the earth is all about. And sometimes the mother does not get to be stable and grounded because she's caring for the children, right?
Not with Maddie.
Exactly. Please just take care of yourself and do what you need to do. Thanks. Anyone else? Anything else?
That just made me very calm.
The meditation.
Yeah.
The earth is always there for us. I think in our culture, we forget. We can forget. Thank you.
It kind of reminded me of what I did yesterday, knowing the storm was coming. I was working outside in the garden and I decided to do a walking meditation out by the woods, and we've got horses out behind us. And just walking slowly on the earth, it comes up inside of you. It's very calming.
Yeah. Love that. She's always there. So, do you see the 5-element chart?
Yes.
So, do you see where the earth is?
Late summer.
So, the winter, the spring, the summer. Now, the late summer, the bonus season, the Chinese medicine bonus season. Late summer is generally our August, when so many luscious and delicious fruits and vegetables are coming ripe. And we're just moved to eat and eat and eat and savor their lusciousness. Late summer is also often hot and humid, both in China, where this was developed, and in the Northeast, and it's damp. And the air can be heavy, and that makes us want to lie around, like in the South on the porch where they drink lemonade and just do nothing all day. That's a vision I have in my head. Couch potato laziness due to the weather and so much delicious food. And so I'd love to hear from you what's happening in late summer when you look at this chart, and how do you feel in late summer? Do you love it? Is a comfortable seasonal energy for you, or an uncomfortable? And why?
I love the weather. I love the weather in August. And of course, everything's come into fruition, all the flowers, like you said, the fruit. And, I'm slowing down enough with my work so that I should be able to even enjoy the summer more. Usually I am really under the gun 7 days a week, trying to get to and from. And so you miss a lot of this, to be honest. For me, I have. But I love the weather. It feels good. I don't really like humidity.
But you're able to slow down and receive, yeah, is what I'm hearing by this time.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks. Anybody else? Mary?
I feel like, I was just trying to really think about it, and it sort of feels like an ending to me, and that probably goes back to school starting in September. But it's also autumn coming in September, and I love autumn. But it's slower, and I'm letting go. There's this sense of letting go of things while at the same time enjoying all the harvest.
Mm-hmm. So as you can see, can you see my cursor here?
Yeah.
Yes.
So fire, as we talked about last week, is the most expansive, right? The most expansive, the top of the yang right here, the most expansive. And then late summer, the energy's starting to go down, right? It's sort of balanced. It's still warm, but we've slowed down a little bit, and we've stopped the frantic activity. We've slowed down, and we're about to go down with the energy. Not down in a bad way, but the yin is starting to grow, and we can't feel it here. It's like the late summer, we've slowed a bit from the expansive high activity of summer, of the fire. So this is why I love Chinese medicine, because it really gets very refined with how the energy is shifting. Would anyone else like to share about late summer for you and how you feel?
I love all the harvest and the abundance. Don't love buggy, muggy, sticky.
Yeah.
That's not my preferred. It gets a little too hot for me. I tend to run hot.
Yeah, and the heat plus the dampness is difficult. And, we don't go into Chinese medical stuff here, but we get heat in the body, we get dampness in the body, and it's all related to the seasons and the weather and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, heat and humidity, I'm not good with that.
Okay,
There
sorry.
are cool days at the end of August, you know? I mean, that's when you start to get those cool days mixed in.
And it starts to shift.
Yeah.
Anyone else have anything quick burning to share? Okay, let's go into our education portion. And people can always, you can always jump in, ask a question. So late summer, the earth element. Color is yellow. Appreciate, eat, digest, care for self and others. And you've been here the past 3 weeks, right? Are you starting to notice how the energy of each element is different? The energy of the earth is very circular, giving and receiving and giving and receiving. It's quieter than the fire, right? Fire was Katrina and the waves walking on sunshine, woohoo, and then the wood was very driving and growing and ambitious. And the late summer is circular and giving and receiving. Can anyone guess what the organs associated with the late summer are?
Stomach.
Spleen and stomach. So the spleen in Chinese medicine is very, very, very important. Not so much important. I mean, it's important in Western medical, but in Chinese medical, the spleen does a lot of things that it doesn't do in Western medicine. Color is yellow, sort of brown and yellow. The voice is sing. I don't know if you've noticed, I've been singing my voice today, and I have a lot of sing in my voice anyway. The taste is sweet. So, cultures all over the world have different cuisines, but in most of them, there is a craving for sweet. And sweet, in our culture, we can go a little bit excessive, but the sweet, it's the milk chocolate. Chocolate is bitter, but milk chocolate is sweet, and sugar and honey. And we should have a sweet at the end of the meal to help the digestion. So, what happens with the emotions of Earth, all of that circularness, if it gets excessive, it can become overthinking and worry. But in balance, it's thoughtfulness. People with strong earth love giving gifts. They love taking care of other people. It makes them so happy. And so caring and support and desire to be understood by others, those are other aspects, very important aspects of the earth. So the spleen is the transporter of nutrients. It is central to digestion and energy metabolism, transforms food into nutrients and qi, and distributes nourishment throughout the body. It provides strength to the muscles and limbs, keeps the blood within the vessels, and opens to the mouth the function of taste. The stomach, on the other hand, is the receiver. Should really put the stomach first because you sort of receive before it gets distributed, but we do the yin organ first. So the stomach begins to rot and ripen the food, begins the breakdown process, moves the food to the small intestine, secretes fluid needed for digestion. Mental, emotional aspects of the stomach. So emotional digestion, right? The stomach processes experiences and takes in.
I think you're on the wrong slide.
Right.
Yeah.
It's still on
Still up.
spleen.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Still on spleen, yeah.
I love it when
There we
stuff
go.
doesn't
There we
work.
go.
Okay.
No, that's back to
You
spleen.
back.
Good. So
There you go.
stomach, did you see
Yeah.
this one?
Yeah, no, we didn't see it. So
Okay. Stomach, the receiver. Thanks for letting me know. And here are the mental emotional aspects. Emotional digestion, very, very important, of course, right? Physical and emotional digestion. Now, the stomach, I don't know if you know the word satiety. The stomach is connected to feeling satisfied, both physically and mentally, and emotionally and spiritually, having enough contentment. If someone just wants more and more and more and more, greedy food or experiences, they just want to eat, their eyes are too big for their stomach. And that's the earth out of balance. So the earth knows what's enough, and then it stops. Appetite for life. And adaptability, the ability to handle and digest change. Stomach does a lot. Stomach and spleen both. So the spleen and stomach together form the central axis of digestion, both for food and emotions. They are fundamental to the health of the system as they govern the transformation and transportation of nutrients throughout the body, as well as the processing and digestion of emotions. Any questions so far? Questions, comments? So when Earth is balanced, a person is naturally nurturing, loves caring for others, cook, nest, give gifts. I always know if someone's Earth if they bring me presents or has strong Earth. The person is loyal, protective, dependable, stable. Earth people have a strong capacity for empathy and understanding and are excellent listeners who are really good at providing emotional support. Earth people seek harmony and balance and are natural mediators. And sometimes they suppress their own emotions because they so seek harmony and balance. And they create harmonious environments where everybody feels cared for and secure. It's the perfect mother, right? When Earth is balanced, people have good digestion, good energy, good stamina, and people are thoughtful and contemplative before making decisions. So think about yourself, think about the people in your life, These are archetypal energies, and we all have them in some way. So when Earth is out of balance, a person may give too much. They may take on too much responsibility for others or take on too much responsibility themselves. I have a book called Boundaries, and I love it. And it's written by some Christian guys, and I'm Jewish, so I don't usually go for stuff like that, but it's so good because they talk about how people want to be good Christians, and so they want to give and give and give and give. After all, Jesus gave his body, right? And so people think to be a good Christian, you have to give and give and give. And this book is so good because it talks about how you can't give and give and give. You can't take on too much responsibility because then you'll burn out and be no good to anybody. And I can't remember like exactly how they said it, but it was just really fantastic.
What is the title of the book?
It's called Boundaries, and let me look and see if I have it here. I can show it to you. Yeah, I don't know where it is, but it's called Boundaries. And if you can't find it, and again, it has the Christian flavor. If you can't find it, just let me know, and I'll find it. I lend it to a lot of people because it's just so good. Okay, so when Earth is out of balance, and because Earth people love harmony and they create that, they can also go out of balance because they suppress their own feelings and needs, which may result in them feeling resentful. This is a very, very, very common pattern, was very common in me when I was younger. And I think it's something that I always work on in myself because I have a lot of Earth. So obsessive thinking and worry is the Earth just going, 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 going. One of my colleagues used to call it recreational thinking. When you wake up in the middle of the night and you're just thinking, 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 you might not even be worrying, you're just thinking. That's the Earth not being in balance. So, yeah, so often people can have trouble caring for and nourishing their bodies and emotions. And I feel like in our culture, it's just not, there's just some sort of disordered relationship with that. Again, give to others, give to others, give to others, especially if you're female. This is the patriarchal way, right? Women do the home, they give and give and give, and that's what makes a good female, a perfect mother. And so this is like the earth, but it's twisted a little because women aren't fully earth, and some women don't even have a lot of earth. But the earth is, the archetype is like the mother, the breasts, breast milk, that is an earth, that is very earth function is nourishing others through our own bodies. But then being balanced, knowing when to cut off the breast, if that makes sense. So if the earth is out of balance, there can be digestive problems, low energy, sort of inability to get off the couch. Any kind of disordered eating, which I find is so common in our culture, just because we have such things about weight and the body, and body needs to be young and thin or else, you know. We all know, so I'm not going to go into it, but okay. And feeling chronically dissatisfied with life, right? The earth element is about satiety and feeling satisfied with enough, right? I have enough. I don't need to keep eating because then I'll throw up, you know. So yeah, these are kind of intense concepts. So I just invite you to take it all in and just look at yourself and the people you love and say, okay, how's their earth? How's their earth element?
How do you remedy earth out of balance?
Love that question. Stay tuned for the next 1 or 2 or 3 years, as that is what I will be doing, is teaching about that.
Okay.
But I'll do a little bit about that with the last slide.
Okay.
So people with strong earth element, Mr. Rogers, oh my gosh. So come on in, he says, his voice sings, come on in, little children, you know, and he's just so kind and nurturing. My mom said she used to hear me when I was like 3 or 4 talking to the TV, and she's like, what? Then I was talking to Mr. Rogers, and she said she thought he was so just dumb because he has such a singy voice and so simple. And then she realized that's just what kids need, is that mothering, nurturing energy. And you don't have to be a woman or a man, it doesn't matter. Oprah, I find, also has very strong, earthy, just welcoming, you know, and just this is the energy. Jimmy Carter, love that man. Oh my gosh, he was just so. Earth people cannot be president like that, or no, like no, it's too hard for them because they're just so stable and beautiful and giving, and that's, you know, for the in the presidency, that's, they'll eat you alive. So any Earth Mother type. In The Wizard of Oz, Dorothy Gale to me is very Earth. She's so caring, you know, the scarecrow and her little dog, and she has good boundaries. When the Cowardly Lion attacks her dog, she swats him on the nose. You ought to be ashamed of yourself, right? She's like, but then, of course, everything is good. So yeah, it's not about being squishy Earth element. It's about being a protector as well. To me, Ron Weasley in Harry Potter, he's so loyal and dependable, and he's not flashy, you know, he's not like a deep guy like Harry Potter. He's not like ambitious like Hermione is very wood element. He's just Ron. He's just loyal and dependable and kind. Lord of the Rings, Samwise Gamgee, who supports Frodo. You can tell I'm a science fiction kind of person, but he, you know, Sam is all about food. It's like he's very stable and loyal and patient and supportive. and he's all about the food. And to me, Italy is very earth. Come on in, the grandma, the mama, come on in, I'll feed you the pasta. Let's eat and let's sit and drink and savor, savor, savor. And in Italy, it's so funny because, I was just there, we were talking to people and they're like, yeah, nothing ever gets done. Because they just don't have that. They don't have that. They don't have that. We talked to an Italian who had just come back after years in the US. He's like, oh, he's like, I can't stand it. He's like, I miss the US because stuff gets done there. Because the US is not earth. The US is much more wood. Forward, do complete things. And Italy, nah, they're all about the eating and the drinking and the being together and that kind of energy. Okay. Nourish your earth element. So Mary's question is complicated. It's complicated. And I would say for me to work individually with someone, I work a lot with acupuncture with people with earth element that is excessive. That's hard to stop overthinking, stop worrying, that kind of stuff. But simply with the earth element, cook warm, nourishing food for yourself. Oh, I forgot to tell you this morning, I made porridge. I never make porridge anymore, but I had some amaranth. Whole grains are very earthy. And I made porridge and it was so warm and delicious and nourishing. Soups and stews, chicken soup, your mother's chicken soup. That's so earth. Eat slowly and mindfully. Chew your food completely. Revel in its tastes and textures. Savoring. That's earth. And just notice, is it hard to eat slowly? Maybe not. Maybe you don't like cooking. Just for reflection. You can practice standing, sitting, or standing like a mountain, or walking, like Kathy was saying, slowly connected with the earth. Cindy, was it you who said sitting like a mountain? Somebody said
No, but I do like that.
nice. Yeah, somebody said that. Maybe it was Lydia. Make appointments with yourself or a practitioner to care for your body. Massage, a warm bath, a spa day. Snuggle up in a cozy blanket. And stroke your hair, your skin. I just started doing this actually on my trip in Italy. I was up at night and I was just feeling like I couldn't settle. And I just imagined myself being held by a mother. Maybe it was my mother, maybe it was the earth mother, and she was stroking my hair. And I honestly, I fell right to sleep. So this is the energy of the earth. If we had a loving and attentive mother, we got it when we were children. Many of us did not. No, our mothers weren't taught that. I think if your mother had a lot of natural earth, you may have received that. And yeah, just to reflect on that, what did you receive? What is your earth element like? Do you like it? Do you push it away? In what ways? So I'm going to invite you now to take a few minutes to journal and reflect. And I think I'm going to play a light song while we do that. About 5 minutes.
L'aria fresca, già una festa, che bella cosa è una giornata sola, sola, più bella in me, oh sole mio, sta in fronte a te. Oh, sole mio, sta in fronte a te, sta in fronte a te. È stato una lavanda, canta se ne va, e quel tremendo, torce spanne e canta, luce nell'astra, è stato io, ma nato sola, più bella in me, oh sole mio, sta in fronte a te. Oh, sole mio, sta in fronte a te, sta in fronte a te. Non bene quanto la malinconia sotto la finestra tua resta lì quando fa notte sola sono scenda no, no. Sta in fronte a te, oh sole mio, sta in fronte a te, sta in fronte a te.
About another minute. I hope this is just the beginning of a week-long reflection and exploration of the earth. The beautiful earth. And finishing up. Would anybody like to share?
Sure, I'll share. Lydia, I was sort of in thinking about Earth and Mother, Earth Mother, I was picturing my mom when I come home from school and find her sitting in her chair in her bedroom, which looked out on a lovely expanse of nature. So I see that. And I wrote a lot of poems about her. And I'll just share one that I wrote that I put sort of as a dedication in the front of a little book of poetry that I wrote. And it goes like this. My mother, fragile and silent, nonetheless gifted me with words of praise. Jewels set into me like stone, her voice a tender angel, a cradle of applause, still echoing in my skin.
Beautiful. Really beautiful.
That's beautiful.
I can just kind of see her
Yeah.
sitting there looking out the window and giving you these gems.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
I had the absolute opposite. My mother never hugged, kissed, gave me any praise, criticized a lot, destroyed my self-esteem. But I was blessed to have a dad who it was so loving and so wonderful. And my mother's 3 sisters knew their sister, my mother, and they blessed me with love, compassion, nourishment. And I am who I am today because of them and my dad. And I think my daughter, had she lived, would have mirrored what she saw from my 3 aunts. She knew them well. They were her great aunts. And one of the last things that she said to me was, Mom, you don't have to apologize for Grandma. She couldn't love, did not know how to love, but you loved me.
Thank you.
I've had to do a lot of work on forgiving. I won't forget, but I can forgive.
That's beautiful. Thank you. And we'll talk more about that next week with the metal element. Thank you so much for sharing.
Seeing we're on the subject of mothers, my mom passed away very young. At 41, but she was also a very loving mother. There wasn't a day that went by where she didn't say she loved us, or kissed us and gave us a hug. So I'm very fortunate with that, though she did pass very young. She was a daredevil. She certainly didn't fit the mold of her generation. You know, she was wearing jeans and playing football in the yard with my brothers, skinny dipping down in Hardings Beach in Chatham, diving under the Quincy quarries. Very pretty woman too, but certainly kind of went outside of her background. We'll put it that way. So with that, you know, the thing I love the most is just being outside, nature, water. I think I've been saying that I crave going in the woods. I walk barefoot in the grass when I can, you know, chemical free and stuff. And it is where I live, so that's nice. Eat outside. I mean, I just want to be grounded with Mother Earth all the time. That's when I do really, really well. you know. What else did I put? I always say, hey, hug a tree. I feel it, I can really feel it. And it really, really, for me, grounds me. Yeah. I've learned to hug myself and hold myself. Somebody brought that up to me years ago to try doing it. And after I get over the awkwardness, it feels really good. Yeah, it does. It just feels, and then I rock. It feels wonderful. Yeah, it really does. So, yeah, that's it for me.
Thank you.
Thanks for the invitation. Thanks, Cindy.
I didn't think about my mother at all, actually.
I didn't
And
either.
I was just sitting here thinking, why didn't I think about my mother? And I think she was warm, she was affectionate, but she was a mixed bag. She was a real mixed bag. And so I think looking over what I did write about, I've been mothering myself. And that there's so much I have of this element and so much that is transforming into a healthier, balanced way of expressing it. But it's just funny, I didn't think of my mother at all.
No need. Oh, sometimes the mother is associated with the earth element in our minds, and
Yeah.
sometimes she's not.
Yeah.
No, I do need the earth for grounding. I love walks in the woods, by the beach, actually just looking at the water at all. Rivers, but so I guess I'm more nurtured by the earth and am nurturing myself. And some other people are helping with that.
Perfect. Maria?
I was just thinking about being in balance and out of balance because it feels like with a bunch of these that we've talked about, I can see where I have elements that seem on the positive side of it and also on the less beneficial side. I think I have a ton of earth. My mother was more wood than earth. And I really like being earth for my son. Like I really like being affectionate and engaged and interested and but I also do spend a lot of time not in regards to him but more with other people being resentful a lot of the time. And so it's interesting to consider what to keep and what to let go of. I love giving gifts, but I do feel like I've spent a lot of my life giving my attention where it's not reciprocated. So like learning those boundaries is probably going to be a lifelong process for me.
Love that. I love that so much. I think our culture with its lack of innate emotional intelligence, sort of have to, we sort of have to learn how to express emotions and who it's safe to express them with and what we're allowed to do. And we're actually allowed to do anything, but it's sort of walking that path of figuring it all out. And,
I've definitely been speaking up more. Like, I actually didn't get a Mother's Day card from my son, which bothered me in regards to him, but more so those around him.
Yeah.
Because it's something I've really taught him to do since he was 2. He gives notes to everybody. And it was interesting because I think there were times that I would have just like stewed about something, but I really spoke up to my family and I was like, I shower you all with affection all the time, and I also need it back. And so
the give and the receive.
Yeah, and I think the thing that I'm negotiating is often a lot of times when I am giving, I have felt like my only safe response is to not be myself, is to pull back. And that makes me sad because I really like being thoughtful where I can. Like when I was on the beach today, there's a memorial there to a young man who died recently. And they have a book that you can write in. And I knew like this heavy rain was coming. So I called his mother and I was like, can I take that in my car for you? Since I'm here. And I figure a lot of people will be walking on the beach this morning. Um, and I like being that thoughtful, but I think it's also dangerous to always be thinking that way. It doesn't leave a lot of attention for myself.
Beautiful insight. Thank you. Thank you. And so to reflect on, do I give to others more than I give to myself? How can I give to myself even more? So I'd love to end with just a tiny little Qigong movement. So take your hands and place them on your lower. I invite you to do this. Of course, you don't have to. Your lower. So here's my belly. Place them on the lower right and move up to your solar plexus and down. This is called the nurturing circle. And it's a way you can balance your earth element, help your digestion. You may even have done this for yourself or children at some point. I like putting my right hand first and putting my left hand over so they're together. It's like my hands are nurturing each other. And just imagining this beautiful circular energy. Your center, nourishing you, moving the food along its way, and giving yourself your loving touch. And then finishing with hands on your belly, on your womb, whether you have your uterus or not. Breathing in and out, and maybe allowing your eyes to close for just a minute. And if you like, breathing in warm yellow energy into your body. Feeling stable and self-connected. And as it is time for us to conclude, just allowing within yourself to bubble up. What are you taking with you today? And we'll go around and just share and say goodbye.
I think a big thing for me is the stomach. That's also apparently my organ being a cancer, which is really interesting. But that movement, particularly because I lost some nerve feeling with my C-section down there, it felt really nice to touch there. I feel I've been avoiding touching myself there.
I guess I'm feeling good about seeing where I'm bringing myself more into balance and bringing that earth nurturing to myself.
I was thinking, being more compassionate towards myself. And I wish it wasn't raining because I would love to go to Sylvan Garden and hug my tree that's there.
You can go
I have a tree that I hug every time.
Nice. Oh, and you're kind or put on your wellies and your raincoat. Thanks, Kathy. Sorry, go ahead, Lydia.
And I'm rocking and being held in grace.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank
Go
you.
ahead. No, go ahead. I want to hear everything you want to say.
That's it.
Okay. Thank you for being in the earth with me.